Hello and welcome to another episode of Double J's List. If you get a chance, please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. Today I'm going to talk about the hashtag 5-car challenge that seems to be sweeping across the automotive world on the internet right now. I'm going to discuss my top 5 cars that I have owned. I haven't been able to figure out exactly what the 5-car challenge is, quite frankly. Some people seem to be doing their top 5 cars like I'm going to do. Other people have done like 5 cars that they really wanted to own. So I'm going to do the 5 that I've owned because I've owned a lot of cars. So I'm very fortunate that I have owned so many great cars that it was actually very hard to narrow down what my top 5 cars were. And what I decided to do is I kind of went back to my origins and some of the cars I really enjoyed as I was younger that really got me into the hobby. So I'll start with car number 1 was my 1985 Volkswagen GTI in Mars Red. Most GTIs that you've seen from about, I think it was 1986 and on, came in Tornado Red. As far as I can tell, the only year that GTIs came in the United States in Mars Red was 1985. I believe there were some Golf GTs that came in Mars Red after that, but as far as I can tell, 85 was the only year for Mars Red on a GTI. And I had one. And I got it when I was a senior in high school, and I drove, it's the car I learned about sports cars in, essentially. So, not that it's an all-out sports car, it's more of a hot hatch, obviously. You know, the GTI is the original hot hatch. And but boy, that was a fun car for an 18-year-old. It was, you know, by today's standards, it's not very fast. I believe the 0 to 60 time was in like 10 seconds. It's like an economy car now. I think there are faster ones, but awesome car for me. A lot of great memories. I'm going to move on to number 2. Unfortunately, I only had the GTI for about a year, and the transmission went bad. Early front-wheel drive Volkswagens, they used a transmission design that instead of using bolts on the ring gear to the differential, they used rivets, and that would often be a failure point. They did that for many, many years, and I believe that's what happened because one day I shifted into third, let the clutch out, and it stopped moving, and none of the gears worked ever again. And that car, it wasn't in great shape. It had a little bit of rust underneath. It wasn't really worth saving. So that spring, I moved on to a 1983 Volkswagen Rabbit GTI. That was the hot hatch that started it all here in the United States. The original Golf GTI showed up in Europe in 1975, and for whatever reason, the powers that be at Volkswagen didn't think we would like a fast hatchback, so it took them until 1983 to finally give us a version on the Rabbit, which was a Golf, but we called it a Rabbit until 1984. When the redesign came out, they called it a Golf here in the United States. But that was a fantastic, fun car. But going from a second-generation Golf to a first-generation Golf, I was spoiled by the second generation because the second generation was a quantum leap in design. It was a much bigger, quieter, more comfortable car, and the old Rabbits were really rattly, especially the ones that were built in Pennsylvania like mine was, and it was a little bit lighter, very quick. It sounded fantastic, but it annoyed the heck out of me, to be quite honest. But the fun that was there to be had was great. So I drove that around. I think it was only for a summer, and ironically, I bought it for $1,500, and then I sold it to a friend for $1,500. Anyone who follows auctions on Bring a Trailer knows that Rabbit GTIs now fetch a lot of money if they're really nice and original. Mine was pretty nice and original. There's ones that are going over $10,000. But hindsight's 2020. That was over 20 years ago. So moving on, I got back into a Mark II Volkswagen. This time it was a 1986 Jetta, and it was GL. So it was more of like the base trim, a little bit above the base trim. It had nicer like fabrics, I think, versus a base Jetta. However, it was antelope metallic. It was just kind of an ugly gold. This was one of the first cars I got when I was working at West Her as a lot guy. It came in on trade, and I picked that up for next to nothing, and I drove it around for a few years. It was a fantastic car. It was the first car I really started modifying. I moved the wheels off of the GTI that it was still in my parents' driveway onto it. So I had the bottle cap style wheels, and I put New Speed springs in it and an Autotech exhaust. Just some mild things. I got the air conditioner to work again, and I put the GTI seats in it from the '85, and that was a really great car for a few years for me. Between the modifications and everything, it was great to drive. I had nice, good sticky tires on it. I think Yokohamas, and that was just a fun, nice, basic car. So the next car that's one of my favorites is a 1991 Audi 80 Quattro. Now this car was a thorn in my side as far as keeping it functioning. Anyone who knows old Audis knows that they can be a reliability nightmare, and mine was indeed that. But between the 5-cylinder that made its unique noise, it had a Stebro exhaust on it. It had the sport seats that had diagonal stripes that said Quattro in the Quattro script on them. It was really cool. I bought it from a friend, and before I bought it, he helped me paint it, and I knew that car mechanically inside and out. The black cloud hanging over that car between the little things I had to fix, and I had 2 accidents in that car in the 6 years that I had it. That car, I have scars on my hands still from working on that car with the weird packaging with the radiator off to the side and the engine going all the way to the front, and I had to replace the radiator. Job was terrible. But anyway, I still, despite it being a total pain, loved that car. I had moved on, and my dad needed a winter car to put his Miata away, so I gave it to him, and he used it for 2 years as a winter car. And then he bought a car to replace the Miata they could drive year-round, and all of a sudden it wound up back in my driveway again, and my wife said, "Get that thing out of here." So I traded it for an old snowmobile, and that's how that story went, and it's gone now. I have no idea where it is, but yeah, it was such a cool car. So last but not least, my absolute favorite car of all time that I've owned was my 1995 Saab 900 Turbo Coupe in black. That's all Saab called it, was black. There's no name. But there's another car that came in on trade when I was working at the dealership, and I bought it for like $1,300. I drove her for years through college. It was sneaky fast. No one knew it was quick. It was really, really practical. Got 30 miles per gallon. Had a huge hatch. You fold the seats down. You could carry all sorts of stuff around in it. It was really unique. The key in the center console behind the shifter. All sorts of cool stuff about it. Button on the dashboard that said black panel, and you hit it, and all the lights turned off except for the one around the Speedo. It's just really strange but fantastic car. Front-wheel drive turbo with all the torque steer you ever wanted. What a great car. Just really unique. I still go on Craigslist and like Facebook Marketplace looking for Saabs. But they're also old and beat up now. It's hard to find nice ones, and the nice ones command a lot of money. But the beat up ones, there's lots of those for cheap, but I don't want that in my life again. But that's my 5-car challenge. If you have any comments, put them below. Like and subscribe. Thank you. I will hope to see all of you soon.